Boston's lead singer has died. I'm John Bowden. This is Rock History Music. Tommy DeCarlo, the unlikely fan who turned into Brad Delp's replacement in Boston, has died after a battle with brain cancer. DeCarlo passed away on Monday, March 9th. His family confirmed the news in a statement saying that he fought the illness with incredible strength and courage right up to the very end. The date of his passing, March 9th, is eerie considering their longtime lead singer, Brad Delp, the original lead singer of Boston, died on the same date in 2007. When Delp passed away, Boston's future seemed uncertain, but the next chapter of the band would begin one of the most unexpected ways in rock history. At the time, DeCarlo wasn't even a touring musician. He wasn't even in a band, had never been in a band, was working for Home Depot in Charlotte, North Carolina. And like millions of others, he simply was a devoted fan to Boston. After Delp's passing, DeCarlo recorded tribute versions of Boston songs and posted them online. And one of those videos, Don't Look Back, from their second album, the title song, eventually got to Tom Scholz, the leader of Boston. According to Scholz, it was actually his wife who first played him the recording. Scholz initially assumed it was a live recording of Boston from the early days because the voices sounded so similar to Brad Delp. And didn't he look eerily like Brad Delp? When he realized it was a fan recording, recorded it in a home, he was stunned. And of course, DeCarlo was immediately asked to audition for the band. He joined in 2008. Isn't it very similar to the Mark Wahlberg film, Rockstar, in 2001, where he's just a guy and he gets to be in this big rock band? And DeCarlo was all of a sudden in big arenas, something he had never experienced on stage, at least, before. Boston was formed in the mid-70s. Tom Scholz was always the main guy. Scholz was a Massachusetts Institute of Technology engineer who built much of the band's sound in his home studio. The group's 1976 self-titled album became one of the biggest selling albums of all time. And for a while, it was the biggest selling debut album. It was powered by the song that has stood the test of time like no other, More Than a Feeling. Peace of Mind, Foreplay, and Long Time. The classic lineup of Boston, Tom Scholz on guitar. From 75 onward, their original lead singer, Brad Delp. He was there from 75 to 89, came back from 1994 to 2007 when he passed away. Barry Goudreau on guitar from 75 to 81, bassist Fran Sheehan from 75 to 83, and Sib Hashian on drums from 75 to 83. He died in 2017. And we should mention Jim Mestia. He was the original drummer of Boston and played on Rock and Roll Band on the debut. He was also on Third Stage and the Greatest Hits package. He was there in 1975 and from 83 to 1988. Their follow-up was Don't Look Back in 1978. A lot of folks, of course, criticized it for sounding like the first album, but what was wrong with that? Nothing. I really like Don't Look Back. It was another smash success. Tom Scholz and Brad Delp, for a while, were the major forces in the band. After Brad Delp left, Michael Sweet joined the band. He was from Stryper, and later David Victor also handled vocals. Initially, DeCarlo and his first tours shared vocals, but this guy was meant to be, and eventually he was the sole major lead singer of Boston. He appeared on Boston's 2013 album Life, Love, and Hope, singing the title track and The Way You Look Tonight, while sharing vocals on other songs. Boston remained touring through the 2010s, including special run shows celebrating the band's 40th anniversary in 2016. Away from the band, DeCarlo also formed his own group with his son Tommy DeCarlo Jr., called DeCarlo, releasing music together and continuing the family musical connection. His problems began last year when he suffered a brain bleed that required emergency surgery. During the procedure, doctors discovered melanoma tumors on his brain and another on his lung. Although he recovered enough to return home, at least for a time, he later suffered another brain bleed as the illness progressed. Friends and family recently organized a fundraiser in North Carolina to help him out. You can imagine the medical expenses. Tommy DeCarlo's story remains one of the most unlikely stories in rock and roll. I mean, it's every kid's dream to be working, a normal job, and all of a sudden, you become a rock star in one of the greatest bands in American history. For nearly 2 decades, he helped keep that upside-down guitar spaceship afloat, honoring the legacy of Brad Delp while carving his own place in rock and roll history. We've been losing a lot of rockers recently. May he rest in peace. Comments, did you ever see him in concert, ever meet him? Uncanny how much he sounded like Brad Delp and looked like him too. I'm John Bowden. Make sure you share our videos. We appreciate that. Makes all the difference in the world if you share the video. Thanks. Take care of yourself.